everyone. Welcome to the 41st Annual Canaan Old Timers Honoree Ceremony. My name is Bill Brown. I'm El Presidente. Thank you all for being here today. And literally, I'll give you my story again on how I became president. We were having a meeting at Lenny Pagg's house, and I unfortunately had to go to the boys' room. And when I came back, I was president. But thank you for doing that, Lenny. It's an honor. One quick special thanks for this beautiful day. We're going to thank our friend Mr. Steve Benko, who's watching over us on this glorious day. So thank you, Steve. Great job with the weather, buddy. Can everyone please stand for a moment, please? It's been a rough year. We've lost quite a few of our past honorees recently. It's been pretty tough for us last several months. We've lost a few people like Larry Tomaselli, and it's been rough. So we would like to, for a moment, please just have a moment of silence for all those past honorees we've lost since we've last met. Thank you very much. Please remain standing. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you can be seated. Very good. Thank you all very much. I'd like to thank a few people before I turn it over to Terry. First of all, we'd like to thank our New Canaan Rams football team for being here, and Coach Overbeck and Coach Marinelli and Coach Silvestri. Not only are they good football players, they're good kids too. So thanks, fellas, for being here. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you at the Old Timers ceremony in about, how old are you now? 17, 40? A long time. We are always, one other thing I didn't want to forget, we're always looking for new members of the New Canaan Old Timers. We're trying, as sort of an oxymoron as it is, we're trying to get younger old timers. So if you know of anybody who'd be willing to join us, we usually have 5 or 6 meetings a year. We have things like we have our ceremony, which is our biggest thing of the year. We have our Vin Iovino Scholarship golf outing in June, and we have our pancake breakfast at homecoming. So if you're honoring, if you would know anybody who would love to, we'd love to have as many people as possible. We're always looking for new members. So if you're at all interested, see myself or Terry or any of the other board members. We're always looking for new people. I'd like to thank all of our board members. A couple of people in particularly there. One person, when I became president, one of the first things I did as president, besides embezzle all the funds and try to overthrow myself, coup d'etat, you can't coup d'etat yourself, but was the best thing I did was have Darcy Penoyer Smith join our group. Now Darcy's been, she's the one that made up these beautiful programs for us. She's the one who did all these nice centerpieces. And I tell you, it was when I resign as president when I'm 103, my best I'll be on the History Channel ratings for best presidents. The best move I've ever made was having Darcy on board. So thank you, Darcy, for everything. And thank you a couple of guys, Matt Reddy and Scott Overbeck and Terry Dinan, for getting all this stuff together. Thanks, guys. There's one other fellow who I'd like to thank, who is a vice president emeritus, and he doesn't have to help with anything, but he does, and he's the one that goes out and gets the food for us, and he's the one who's a lousy referee in basketball season, but I hope he understands how much he means to me and how much he means to us, and that's Mr. Rick Erickson. Thank you, Rick. Okay, so one person that we've had on the is actually my vice president and our historian. I've known, how long have I known you, Mr. Dinan?
Long time.
Long time. Center school days with the knockout pit, bring back knockout pit, go knockout pit. And sliding into second base and kickball games on the asphalt, the good old days.
Roofing the kickball.
The best, top 5 days of my life. One of the top 5 was when I roofed my first kickball at center school. That was incredible. And it's amazing that I still remember, and they're still alive, God bless them, 2 of my gym teachers. Charlie Malott, who was my gym teacher at center school, and John Stratton, who was my gym teacher at East School. It's amazing how, as you're growing up, this goofy kid with 3 older brothers who used to beat him up all the time. It's amazing that your gym teachers we still remember them 60 years later. It's amazing. So, I've known Terry for a long time. He's a terrific asset to our association, as you'll find out after you listen to him speak. He does all the football games on Friday evenings, and I'm very lucky to have him as my vice president and historian. So, our master of ceremonies for the rest of the day will be Mr. Terry Dinan. Terry? Okay, very good.
Great, thank you so much, Bill. Thank you all for being here. Welcome, another glorious day for the Canaan Old Timers Association. I've been doing this for a little over 10 years now, and every year the weather gets better and better. I don't know what we would do if it rained. Deanna, maybe we can get funds for a retractable dome or something over Waveney, I don't know. But it really is truly an honor for me to be here today as we gather to celebrate the athletes, the coaches, the community members who have left their mark on New Canaan sports and on our town's history. A few people I also want to thank for being here. Obviously, El Presidente, Bill Brown, Darcy Penoyer Smith, Scott Overbeck, Matt Reddy, Lauren Saratani, Rick Erickson, who didn't have to be here, as Bill said, but is. I'm so happy to be part of this tremendous organization. Coach Marinelli is here. Give it up for Coach. What are we up to now, Coach? 407 career wins? Something like that? Yeah, he's the last person who knows. But I know he remembers every single one of those 407 wins in his remarkable career. 15 state titles. Unbelievable. Tom O'Day, our state rep. He's a strong advocate for our town, and especially athletics over the years. So Tom, keep fighting that good fight in Hartford. Deanna Carlson is here, our wonderful first selectman. Deanna has been so great for New Canaan, so supportive of our organization, and most importantly, we are 2-0 in the Turkey Bowl against Darien with her doing the coin toss. So, thank you. One couple people who couldn't make it today. One is Vin Iovino, for whom this organization works. Vinny, of course, our former athletic director. It's his scholarship that we raise money towards, that's given to 2 senior athletes at the end of the year. I was very happy to see Vinny. I had a chance to see him the other night at Dunning Field, and he came to surprise Coach Marinelli. He couldn't attend today's events due to some family priorities, but he did talk to me about each and every one of the nominees. And he had something to say about you all, and I worked them into your intros, but he just wanted me to make sure I said that he sent all of his love to you all. So give it up for Vin Iovino. And of course, another person who couldn't make it today, but I want to take a moment to recognize, is a very special person, and that is Lauren Saratani. For more than 2 decades, Lauren has served on the Old Timers board, and in that time, she's done just about everything that needed to be done. As treasurer and secretary, she was the one who kept us organized, she kept us on task, she tracked down the money, and she kept us honest. And all of the aforementioned, those are not easy things to do, especially the honesty part. But quite simply, Lauren handled all the jobs that no one else could do, and she did them with dedication, with energy, and with heart. And when Loris told us a little while ago that she was stepping down from this role on Old Timers, it was very bittersweet, mostly because those are very big shoes to be filled, but those are shoes that need to be filled. So if anybody's looking to join, we have some very important jobs for you. The tracking down the money part, we might not give to you. We do have Scott Overbeck on our board, and if you owe money, you don't want a former Division I offensive lineman looking for you. So we'll take that off your plate. But yeah, see me or Bill if you're looking to join. Lauren's not able to be here with us today, as I mentioned. She's fighting some health issues, but on behalf of everyone here, we want to thank her for her remarkable service, her commitment. Her presence will be missed, but her impact will be continued to be felt in everything we do. So Lauren, we love you, and we hope you get well soon. And now it's my great honor to introduce our 2025 Old Timers honorees. It's a group of athletes, coaches, community leaders whose stories capture the very best of New Canaan, the hard work, the competition, the camaraderie, and the lasting sense of pride. So, our first honoree is a man whose presence defined New Canaan High School for more than 3 decades, and that is Coach Keith McBain, who is our Lauren J. Keyes Memorial honoree. Coach McBain arrived in New Canaan in 1963 as a young English teacher, and over the years he wore many hats. He was English department chair, he was a football coach, he was a basketball coach, and most memorably, he was head baseball coach of the New Canaan Rams from 1965 through 1991. In each role, Keith succeeded not only by teaching skills, but by shaping people. His very first game as head coach became something of a legend. It was April, but it felt more like January. It was 30 degrees at first pitch, and it only got colder from there. The Rams managed just 1 hit that day, and the season wasn't easy, but Coach McBain, he never flinched. As one article later noted, he may not have known exactly what he was getting into in that spring of '65, but he had the resolve and the character to see it through. And in that time, he built one of New Canaan's most respected athletic programs. Under his leadership, the Rams captured 5 FCIAC East titles, were conference runners-up in 1987, and in 1989 won the FCIAC championship for the first time in school history. Along the way, Keith coached 17 players to all FCIAC honors, with many going on to all state recognition. But Coach McBain's true secret wasn't strategy, it wasn't statistics. His secret was people. He had a knack for getting the best from his players. His athletes remember it well. One former player recalled making a late season mistake that cost the team a game. On the bus ride home, Coach McBain didn't gloss it over. He acknowledged the error, but then he reminded the team of earlier games where that same player had delivered the game-tying RBI and scored the winning run. In that moment, Keith McBain taught the most important lesson of all, and that is mistakes do not define us. What matters is effort, resilience, and giving 110% in everything we do. That was Coach McBain. As a defensive secondary coach for Joe Sikorsky, he guided defensive backs to a staggering 30 interceptions during the Rams' 1969 championship season. He was a mentor in basketball, a leader in the classroom, and a steady figure on the sidelines whose quiet words carried deep weight. Outside of school, he served as a union leader, a selectman in this town to the south of us, and in retirement found joy in gardening and volunteering as a master gardener at the Rosman Gifford Zoo. His love of baseball never dimmed, nor did his love of teaching, serving, and building community. Coach McBain was inducted into the New Canaan High School Hall of Fame in 2008, and today we honor him again with the Lauren J. Keyes Memorial Award. Like Coach Keyes, Keith embodied leadership, integrity, and service to others. Here to accept the Lauren J. Keyes Memorial Award for Coach Keith McBain is one of his most trusted assistant coaches, proteges, and a great coach in his own right, El Presidente, Bill Brown.
Thank you very much, Terry. I don't know if most of you know that I have 3 older brothers, and we all graduated from New Canaan High School. first one in 67, then 70 and 71. And all of them had Coach McBain as a teacher. And I actually had Coach McBain as an English teacher my senior year. He was always a fair man, a fair teacher, brilliant man. He knew more English than we ever knew. I guess that's what you're supposed to when you're an English teacher. But he was what a great guy. And I was when he was varsity coach. I don't know. I don't exactly remember the exact date, but 250 Mark Rierick became his assistant coach. He was coaching the freshmen, and he became Coach McBain's assistant coach, and I took over the freshman baseball. And then when Coach McBain retired, I became Coach Rierick's assistant. So I'd known Coach McBain for many years. He was a wonderful guy. He had a little dry sense of good sense of humor. And I know we tried to get his family to come down from New York, but they couldn't make it. So I was honored when Terry and everybody asked me to accept this award for him. So on behalf of Coach McBain and his family, I'd like to thank the New Canaan Old Timers for recognizing him, and just a wonderful man, and he's a great addition to our Memoriam Award group. So in honor of Coach McBain, I just want to say thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Bill. For all the honorees, when you come up and accept your plaque, we also have citations for you from the state, from the Honorable Thomas O'Day, who is in the back there. So these are good citations. They're not the bad kind. So come on up and don't hesitate to get them. So it's my privilege to introduce our next honoree, and that is Carrie Chasen Harden. Carrie's name is synonymous with New Canaan athletics, not just because of what she did, but because of when she did it. Carrie came of age in the late 1980s, and that's a time when girls and women's sports were still carving out their place. Vin Iovino, when I talked to him, cited Carrie as one of the pioneers of women's athletics in New Canaan, seizing every opportunity and proving that New Canaan's daughters could compete with the same fire, pride, and success as its sons. From the very beginning, Carrie was everywhere, swimming, figure skating at the Winter Club, on the tennis courts, the softball and the soccer fields, and eventually the lacrosse and field hockey programs at New Canaan High. Old clippings tell the story of a kid who could do it all. 3 hit softball games, clutch plays in YMCA championships, and by high school a reputation that continued as a clutch player who scored winning goals and made key assists in the biggest moments. By her senior year in 1989, she had risen to lead not one, but 2 varsity teams, captaining both the field hockey and lacrosse teams. That fall, she co-captained a 10-3-3 Rams hockey team that won the FCAC championship, while earning first team All-State and first team All-FCAC honors, leaving her mark as one of the defining female athletes of her era. Carrie took that drive with her to Ohio Wesleyan, where she stepped into a nationally ranked field hockey program. As a freshman, she was already making an impact in top 10 matchups. And over her career, the Battling Bishops reached new heights, earning NCAA playoff bids and cementing themselves as the best in college, with Carrie right there as a major contributor. After college, she didn't slow down. Carrie pushed her limits in endurance sports, becoming a 6-time Ironman and 12-time half Ironman finisher. From 2014 through 2016, she was ranked among the top 10% of Ironman athletes worldwide, earning Ironman All-World Athlete recognition. With that being said, for all of her accomplishments, what makes Carrie's story truly special is her legacy. Her husband, Boyd, both an Old Timers honoree and a Hall of Famer right here in New Canaan, and together they've raised 3 remarkable children, 2 of them already national champions with the University of North Carolina women's lacrosse program. It's a powerful full circle moment. Carrie, once a trailblazer in a time when girls athletics was still finding its footholds, now watching her daughters compete on the biggest stage reaping the benefits of the doors she and her generation helped open. Today, she still lives here in New Canaan, balancing her career in Greenwich with early morning runs that prove the passion for competition never fades. Please join me in honoring a pioneer, a leader, and a lifelong athlete whose story continues through the next generation, Carrie Jason Harden.
Thank you.
So sweet. Terry, thank you. Gosh, whew. That was so nice. It's truly an honor to be here this afternoon and to be recognized by the Old Timers Association, an organization that holds deep meaning in this town and does so much to support New Canaan athletics. Congratulations to all honorees today. It's an incredible group to be part of. I moved here in 1971, and from that moment on, I played every sport I could. I had no idea how much this community and its love of sports would shape who I am today. New Canaan gave me teammates who became lifelong friends, coaches who believed in me, and future friends who were about just as crazy as I was, who would join me for about 8 to 10 hours of workouts a day. My greatest reward, however, is passing that drive along with my husband onto our 3 children. Watching them play at New Canaan High School has been one of my greatest joys. While athletics has taken me to some incredible places, New Canaan has always been home. I feel incredibly lucky to be here, not just because it's a wonderful place to raise a family, but because the community that has shaped me is still all around me. There is something about this town. People come back, we stay connected, and we keep cheering each other on just like we always have. I want to thank my family, especially my kids, for inspiring me every day and for understanding why their mom is always up before sunrise going for a run. I want to thank this town for planting seeds of passion, discipline, and grit in me for so many years ago. To the old timers, thank you all for keeping the spirit of New Canaan athletics alive and for honoring not just what we've done, but what we pass on to the next generation. I'm very proud to be part of this tradition. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Terrence. Thank you. Thanks, Tom O'Day, for this.
I don't know if anybody remembers when Center School, when we had that picture taken of all of us. Scott, you were there. I know Josh, you were there. And the funny, Bill talking about roofing the kickballs. I just remember Bev Greenberg. She was the one who took the picture. She's borrowing one of Sid's cameras, and she took it, and she goes up there, and all of a sudden, like 5 or 6 kickballs are getting thrown off the roof. It was, I hadn't thought about that in about 40 years. So I digress. Our next honoree comes with what I think is one of the best nicknames in Ivy League sports history, the Tower of Power. And if you were unlucky enough to defend him back in the day, you probably still remember it. Athletics ran deep in Tom Tower's family. His father helped establish the New Canaan Lacrosse Association, laying the foundation for a program that would become a town treasure and something Vin Iovino said made his job so much easier, with an unprecedented pipeline right into New Canaan High School. And for that, he is eternally grateful. Tom and his brother Andy carried on that legacy, turning the Tower's name into a pillar of New Canaan lacrosse. At New Canaan High School, Tom was a 3-sport athlete excelling in football, basketball, and lacrosse. He was part of the Rams' 1982 CIAC state champion football team. He added the FCAC titles in 82 and 83 in lacrosse and the 1982 state title, while proving himself as one of the most complete athletes of his era. At Brown University, while playing midfield under Dom Starja, Tom earned All-American and first-team All-Ivy honors while doing the gritty work of winning ground balls and clears. But he wasn't just a grinder, he scored, and he scored in bunches. As a senior, he tallied 28 goals and 9 assists, 37 points, finishing second in the Ivy League in goals scored. That's an achievement almost unheard of for a midfielder. And he always rose to the moments. Tom scored 5 goals against top-ranked Cornell, who went on to be national runners-up, and he notched 4 goal games against Army, Virginia, Yale, and Penn. He had a knack for saving his best for when the lights were brightest. After Brown, Tom continued playing at the highest levels of the game. He earned a tryout for the 1990 U.S. World Team. He played professionally in the Major Indoor Lacrosse League, and he started with the New York Athletic Club, winning the 1990 US CLA North Championship and competing for national club titles. Tom's story comes full circle here in town, where he spent years coaching New Canaan youth lacrosse and helped form the Eclipse Lacrosse Club, ensuring that the next generation carries forward the tradition his family began. And in 2018, Tom was inducted into the New Canaan High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Off the field, Tom has built a successful career in finance and sales, working with Xerox, Gartner, Barclays, and now Prism FP. He and his wife, Liz Mason, a fellow New Canaan High School grad, have raised 3 children, Tommy, Jane, and Brody, all athletes who embody the same competitive spirit as their father. From state championships at New Canaan High School to All-American honors at Brown to professional lacrosse and then back home coaching the next wave, Tom Towers has truly lived the legacy of the Tower of Power. Please join me in honoring Tom Towers.
Thank you very much, Terry. That was a little aggressive, but I appreciate the love. I'm going to try to read this without my glasses. We'll see. I might have to go. But I'd like to thank, obviously, Darcy Smith, Bill Brown, and everybody else who played a part in me receiving this honor. I love this town and community. Having grown up here and having my brother Andy's family here, and obviously my beautiful wife's from here. So it's funny. I was given the nickname when I took a PG year at Choate after New Canaan. Tommy, New Canaan is the Nuggets, Towers. Which is a little funny, but true. Our family moved here in 1968 when I was 3 years old, and was lucky enough to attend West School, where I made many lifelong friendships to this day. One of my biggest inspirations, Boyd Harden, who was the meanest competitor I've ever played any sport with or against, but a gentleman off the field, and several others. I moved to Arizona for middle school, and I was there for 2 years. And after 2 years, we came back to New Canaan, where I played basketball for 250 Mark Rearick, who was a legend, and lacrosse for the other legend, Joe DeTola, which was a lot of fun. Freshman lacrosse was a bit of a wake-up call because there was no lacrosse in Arizona for 2 years, but everything turned out okay. The legendary Lou Marinelli came to New Canaan my junior year. And when I tell you it was transformational, it was crazy. A bunch of us who hadn't played football since 8th grade all went out our senior year, and we won the state championship. It was epic, that's all I can say. So, in addition to Lou and Joe, I also got a chance to play for 2-5 and Don Usher and Howard Benedict. These coaches were second to none. All very different, but equally successful and incredible, the edge that I felt like I had when I went to Brown. So I'd like to thank all of them. In 2002, Liz and I moved back to New Canaan, and when our kids were in grade school, I coached youth football, basketball, and lacrosse, which was so much fun. For those young athletes out there, I would just say, always work your hardest, listen to your coaches, and have a team-first mindset. That'll get you where you want to be. Thank you very much.
All right, our next honoree represents the very best of New Canaan's athletic tradition, and that's Dave Rucci. Dave is part of a third-generation family of New Canaan athletes. And when I talked to Mr. Iovino about Dave, that's the first thing he mentioned, and that's family and how much the entire Rucci family means to New Canaan. And it's so wonderful to see you all here. Mr. Rucci, Mrs. Rucci. Dave's grandfather played in the town summer baseball league. His dad started football and founded New Canaan's first school hockey team. And Dave carried on that proud lineage by becoming one of the community's most versatile competitors. If you look back through old clippings, Dave is just everywhere. He played on nearly every youth team New Canaan had to offer. The Yankees in T-ball, the Mohawks in Bantam, the Flickers in Cub, the Seals, then the Otters. He was traded for cash considerations and played in the game later. And ultimately the Cardinals and Babe Ruth playing for his dad. Along the way, Dave's name was always in the box score, cracking 3 hits, driving in runs, hitting home runs that carried his teams to victory. At New Canaan High School, Dave continued as a true 3-sport athlete, playing soccer, basketball, and baseball. He was a high scorer on the all-star soccer team that traveled to Denmark. He was a steady contributor on Don Usher's basketball teams, and he became the cornerstone of the baseball program, starting as a sophomore, captaining the team as a senior, and earning all FCAC honors. His classmates voted him, not surprisingly, most athletic, and the box scores back it up. There always seemed to be a line that read, Rucci went 3 for 5 with multiple RBIs. Dave carried his baseball career to Ohio Wesleyan before returning to New Canaan and forming the Firm softball team that became legendary in town rec sports. Not just for the shirts, you've seen them, you know them, the t-shirts with the tie on them. That's why I always wanted to become part of the Firm, and Dave helped make that dream a reality along with Chris Sullivan. Championship after championship, the clippings tell the same story. Rucci, 3 hits, Rucci drives in winning runs. It almost became like a running joke for all of us. No matter whom the Firm faced, you could always count on Dave to deliver. Dave's impact stretches well beyond his own playing career. He coached the 12-year-old baseball all-stars with his brother Josh. He helped found the New Canaan Baseball Alumni Association, and most importantly, Dave poured his energy into coaching. He coached his own kids, Grace, Ava, and Nate, in soccer, basketball, flag football, baseball, and ice hockey. Off the field, Dave has given back just as generously. He was a partner at Lampert, Tui, and Rucci, and he served the community in countless ways on the boards of the New Canaan Library, the New Canaan Rotary Club, the New Canaan Community Foundation, the New Canaan Cemetery Association, the Get About, and the Chamber of Commerce. He has been president, secretary, chairman, but always a volunteer whose love of New Canaan shines through. Dave credits his lifelong connection to this community to the coaches who inspired him. Bill Murphy in soccer, Don Usher and Tony LaVista in basketball, Bill Brown, Fiverr, Keith McBain in baseball, and Jeff Braymeyer in swimming. Their example gave him the foundation to pay it forward, and he has done exactly that. From his first swings in T-ball with the Yankees, to captaining the Rams, to leading the Firm, to glory on the summer nights in Waveney, and now as a coach, mentor, attorney, civic leader, Dave Rucci has lived a life that embodies the spirit of New Canaan athletics and New Canaan community. Please join me in honoring Dave Rucci.
Chicken Street, #1, Chicken Street.
Thank you very much, Terry. I mean, I really put the Firm together to beat Chicken Street. Chicken Street won every year, and we decided it was time to get rid of those old guys. But that's how I met them all. That's how I met the Packley alumnus. That's how I met a bunch of the guys on the team. Thank you very much to the Alumni Association. My father is also a part of the Alumni Association, so I don't know, you guys always do get like the best weather. I'm not really sure how you all do it. But yeah, growing up in New Canaan has, forged everything for me in my life. New Canaan sports, I mean, the coaches that Terry just mentioned really made a huge impact on me, mostly because those coaches in and of themselves always were volunteering their time to us, like to the kids. And I loved being a part of these teams, and I loved being a part of these coaches. They were really special people. I'm sure you guys all have those today. I mean, the fact that the football team has Chris Silvestri, who I actually coached in baseball, the guy was like unbelievably fast and had this arm from center field. I tried to send a guy home from third base, and he threw him out from like the wall. It was terrible. But anyway, listen to your coaches. I mean, the coaches are everything. These guys are dedicating their time to come. They're not getting paid a heck of a lot of money to come and do this, but they taught me just everything. And that's one of the reasons why I like to come back. And my kids are all out of school now, so I'm not doing a heck of a lot of coaching, but I do like to get involved in some of the civic groups around here, whether it's Rotary or Chamber of Commerce. Being able to give back to this community, you get to meet all this next new generation. So I just want to thank everybody. I mean, Carrie Chase and I went to Ohio Wesleyan together. She's here, Tommy Towers. I mean, these guys are like cutters, they've been here forever. All right, so anyway, congratulations to all the other honorees, and thank you very much.
I still have the old scorebooks from Cardinals. I still have them. I'll look them up. Thanks, Rudy.
John still has all the old
I have all
scorebooks from the
old
Cardinals.
Yes. I do. I have them all.
I think you need to burn all the scorebooks that have your games against the Yankees, because I went 0 for 1987. It is a sincere pleasure for me to introduce our next honoree, a man whose name was all over the New Canaan sports pages in the mid-90s, but whose legend really began at the Riverbank Drive and Parade Hill Road bus stop in the 1980s, waiting for Bus 2C Center School. That's where a young Toriano Fredericks honed his skills, playing TV tag, freeze tag, and dodgeball with the neighborhood kids, who included myself and my brother. Even then, you could see the mix of speed, toughness, and creativity that would carry him through an incredible athletic career. On the football field, Tori was electric. On any given Saturday afternoon at Stanley P. Meade Field at Saks, you'd see him breaking free for long touchdown runs, putting defenders in the spin cycle with a couple of quick moves, and finish off games with multiple scores. By the end of his senior year, he ranked 11th all-time in career rushing yards, averaging nearly 8 yards per carry, third best season in school history, and was recognized as an all-FCIAC player. Football was just one chapter. On the wrestling mat, Tori was known for his grit. One memorable write-up described how he really took it to his man in the clutch match against powerhouse Danbury, sealing a win in the closing seconds. A totally unexpected win, but people soon learned never sell Toriano Fredericks short. Never underestimate him. As a captain of the 1995 Rams, he posted a 21-3 record, won the FCIAC 152-pound championship, finished as a runner-up in both the state and state open, and represented New Canaan at the New England and national tournaments. In the spring, Tori traded the mat for the lacrosse field, where he was the defensive and face-off middie on the 1996 state championship team. He played in what's still remembered as the epic 7-overtime FCIAC title game, a battle etched into New Canaan history. After high school, Toriano continued his journey at the Naval Academy Prep School and then at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy, where there he earned Rookie of the Year honors and became a 2-time all-conference running back. Tied a school record for touchdown receptions in a single game and cemented himself as a 4-year varsity letter winner. He graduated in 2002 with a degree in transportation and intermodal logistics. I don't know what that is. But we have time where you can explain it, not during your speech, but afterwards. And his U.S. Coast Guard unlimited tonnage officer's license. His career on the seas took him from container ships and bulk carriers to oil tankers and deepwater drill ships in Brazil and the Gulf of Mexico. Toriano wasn't done reinventing himself. In 2015, he launched a food truck in Durham that grew into a brick-and-mortar restaurant. His cooking quickly gained recognition, earning local awards and national features in Food and Wine magazine, on the Tamron Hall Show, and ESPN's 3-Day Weekend. Through it all, whether it was at the bus stop, Friday Night Lights, wrestling mat, lacrosse field, see her in the kitchen, Tori has always embodied perseverance, leadership, and heart. Today he lives in Durham with his wife Serena, son Devin, continuing to inspire everyone who knows him. Mr. Iovino told me the other day how he's been following the life you have forged, and he's so proud to have known you as a young man, but even more proud to know you as an old-timer. Please join me in welcoming neighbor, teammate, captain, chef, friend, and honoree, Toriano Fredericks.
Still 152 pounds.
90. How you guys doing today? First of all, thank you to the old timers. It's definitely an honor to be here, to be recognized with so many other great names that are here today and also in the past. I didn't come here to be praised, but that was beautiful. Thank you. I really came here to say thank you to my coaches who pushed us, to my teammates who stood beside me, and all the families that supported us. I see Miss DeLucia here somewhere. None of these accolades we were able to get individually, and thank you all for that, first of all. When I think about my story, first I want to thank my grandparents for landing in New Canaan in the first place. Really, their story, they left the segregated South, just moving to the North, looking for opportunity and safety, and they found that in New Canaan. And so they bought a house on Parade Hill Road, 109 Parade Hill Road in 1976, and so that was 1 year before I was born. In 1987, I played my first year of Pop Warner football on the Tigers, and I joke and I tell my son all the time, it's a weird thing, but I literally was afraid at the end of every football season that I would die before the next football season. That was like an actual fear. I like playing football that much. Not as much as the dodgeball and tag at the bus stop. Yeah, I can still hear like some of the voices from some of those first football coaches. Coach Mike Boyd was our first football coach. I thought that guy was like Vince Lombardi, and I think he was a college punter. And so when I think he'd punt balls, and we like thought he was like the best punter in the world. Coach Albus, like his big thing was he taught us how to use a forearm flipper, and he'd come up and just hit us and we'd go flying. And so like those things are memories that I like keep with me and remember from those Pop Warner days. You know, I think about lacrosse. In 8th grade, I was riding my bike home from football practice, and a red 4Runner pulled up, and a guy pulled over with this white hair and leans over and says, "Are you number 29?" Yep. "Do you want to play lacrosse?" And at the time, I had a bunch of friends that were playing lacrosse, but I really had really no interest at the time in playing. But that year in 8th grade was my first year playing lacrosse. And that summer, Brian Wilderman, Craig Schubert, and I went to a lacrosse camp in Baltimore. Now, the three of us weren't really lacrosse players. You know, we were just played, just learning the game. And the fact that he took that time to drive, we hopped in this car with Coach Benedict, and that tells you the time too that parents just let their car get in a car with the guy and go to Baltimore and play a game my grandparents had never heard of. There's so much I remember from that trip as well. Boston Market had just come out, and we stopped at a Boston Market, and remember, and every time I see Brett, we look at each other and we say, Boston Market, and one day replace Kentucky Fried Chicken. that was his thing. Every time I see a Boston Market, I think of Coach Benedict. I like the speed and intensity of lacrosse, but I mostly liked about lacrosse just kind of being on the field and competing with my friends. That's something that stayed with me. And then there was wrestling. If football gave me toughness, wrestling gave me grit. Kind of every time you step on that mat, you're kind of held accountable to the work that you put in before that moment. So that's what I really liked about wrestling. I have to thank John Wilderman for me being a wrestler. Him and Coach Gallo, they were part of starting the wrestling program when I was in 7th grade. Again, I didn't know much about wrestling except for Macho Man Randy Savage, Junkyard Dog, and
JYD, yeah.
yeah. But that year they started a program, and I went out for the wrestling team, and I wrestled that 1 year, and I did well, but I did kind of learn that I don't think that I was ready, for that level of intensity and walking out on the mat, just looking like a bathing suit. But it kind of did set the stage for when I did start wrestling again my sophomore year. I do want to see Coach Gallo up there. I do want to thank him for pushing us all those years. Definitely believed in us. Learned a lot of lessons in wrestling that I use today in life and running a restaurant, which is one of the hardest things in the world. Wrestling definitely helped me in those lessons in life. Football, I see Coach Marinelli up there. Definitely want to thank you, Coach. I know you're at more than 400 wins at this point. It's an honor to have been, I think I was there for in the hundreds. And to have shared a small part of that historic journey is something I carry with pride. Coach's wins are a direct testament to his ability to build a great team with top-notch coaches. All throughout, I had some of the best coaches. You see Coach Joe DeTola here somewhere. Where'd you go, Coach Joe? Coach Arcamone, Coach Hickey, Coach Woodall. I always joke that I spent the most informative point of my life being yelled at by Italian men. That did something for me. So I want to thank the Reddy family. Matt and Chris are here. Kind of to give a little bit of context, I grew up at 109 Parade Hill Road, and their house was at 107 Parade Hill Road. And their my grandparents were good friends with Ed and Cindy, and so I was just always this kid that was running back and forth. Matt's telling of this story is that I was just this kid at the end of the driveway throwing a ball up in the air, and he'd come down and hit me in the head, and he said to Chris, I gotta go out there and help that kid. and he's been my mentor ever since. So my junior year, am I going too long?
No.
My junior year, my grandparents, they were getting ready to move to North Carolina. And if it wasn't for the Reddys, I would have ended up graduating from Durham Southern High School. They opened up their home. And again, that's a testament to the times in this town, that my grandparents, left me. and I don't know if the Reddys just didn't want to lose their babysitter. But I think it was more than that. Their love and support didn't stop there. Went through the Naval Academy, at the Merchant Marine Academy. I'll always be grateful to you guys for believing in me, making sure that I had the stability and foundation to this day. Thank you. The support from this town didn't stop as well when we did start a Kickstarter to start our business in 2015. We did a $20,000 Kickstarter, and more than half of that money came from friends, teammates, and coaches from New Canaan. So again, that's a testament to the relationships that are made here and that follow you through life. And that business, we started in 2015, and we're celebrating 10 years next month. So thank you for that. And lastly, I do want to thank my wife Serena and my son Devin for being here, for always supporting me. They know me the most. They know my hard work, you know, all the things that I believe in. And I'm glad that they got to come here today and see kind of where that came from. So thank you.
I gotta follow that. Should have made that last. Ladies and gentlemen, our last honoree is a man who has built his life on strength, not just in the weight room, but in the classroom, on the field, and in the community. And that is Coach Frank Archimone. Frank grew up in Norwalk, where he graduated in 1988 as a multi-sport athlete, lettering in football, wrestling, and lacrosse. He went on to Southern Connecticut State University, earning his degree in physical education, and later added a master's in health education. From the very start, it was clear Frank's calling was to teach, to coach, and to inspire. At the same time, he was making a name for himself on the national stage as a record-setting powerlifter. And the numbers are eye-popping. A 700-pound squat, 450-pound bench press, and a 615-pound deadlift. Numbers I can't even imagine. I mean, he was ranked as high as number 2 in the United States as a junior powerlifter, and throughout the late 80s and 90s, he captured titles in the East region and beyond. And he did it all with the same determination that he brought to coaching. In 1995, Frank joined the New Canaan school system as a phys ed teacher, where he shaped students' lives for nearly 3 decades. First at South School. Today, Frank teaches at Sachs Middle School, and along the way, he became a fixture in the New Canaan High School football program. And again, speaking with Mr. Iovino, Coach Archimone, he wanted me to specifically mention how proud he is of the legacy you forged as a mentor, educator, and role model. He began coaching outside linebackers and later led the freshman program and eventually took over the inside linebackers after the retirement of Coach D. He's a part of a defensive coaching staff that is considered to be the best in the state. And alongside Coach Marinelli, he's been a part of an incredible 13 state championship teams. And if you watch New Canaan football every game, the Ram linebackers are always in the right spot. They always make the right plays. And if you watch Coach Archimone every day, you will know the reason why. He has a deep understanding of the game and an even better understanding of how to convey strategy and technique to his players. It is truly a gift. Coach Archimone's impact stretches beyond the X's and the O's. As a director of the Peter M. Dean Fitness Center, he's transformed training for Ram athletes. He organized New Canaan's first powerlifting meets, giving kids the same thrill of competition that once hooked him. In everything he does, he makes it fun. He hasn't forgotten that at the end of the day, it has to be fun. Fun for the whole community, from teaching to coaching. From South School family fun nights to holiday pageants where he once stole the show dressed as Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, red nose and all. Through it all, Frank has been a leader. He's been a leader by example. His athletes know he never asks of them anything that he hasn't demanded of himself. His colleagues know his workouts are legendary and his philosophy is simple. Work hard, stay positive, and keep lifting. Not just lifting weights, but keep lifting each other. Today, Frank continues to teach and coach with the same passion he brought with him to New Canaan 30 years ago, supported by his wife Beth and his 2 sons Sam and Jack. Please join me in recognizing a teacher, a coach, a record setter, and a true Ram, a man who has spent his life building strength in every sense of the word, Coach Frank Archimone.
Guys, you look great today. Make sure you stay after. I want a photo op with you guys, all right?
They gotta eat a lot too, because we got a lot of food. You guys gotta eat a lot.
Absolutely. I wanted to first start by saying what an incredible honor it is to be recognized by the New Canaan Old Timers Club. Thank you to Terry Dinan, Bill Brown, Scott Overbeck, and the rest of the committee for this honor today. I also wanted to congratulate all that are being honored today. I'm proud to be with you today. I'd like to start and honor my wife, Beth. Spending so much time away from home is never easy. She was raised in a family where my father-in-law, Ed, coached for 38 years at Fairfield Prep as the head baseball coach. So she knew what it was all about, living with a coach. In the amount of time he spent on the dime and away from the home. So thank you again, Beth. Love you. I also want to recognize my mother, Florence, and my sister, Ellen. Thank you so much for sharing this special day with me. In years past, I sat in the same seats you guys are, and I listened to some of the greatest New Canaan coaches and athletes being honored. Such names as Lou Marinelli, Jay Egan, Priscilla Schultz, Sue Swirtle, Kristen Woods, Don Usher, Gail Overbeck, Bo Hickey, Joe DeTola, Chris Silvestri, and the names go on and on. They're all absolute legends in my mind. So I feel truly honored. I've been very fortunate to have worked with so many outstanding coaches over the years. Our staff totally, it is really something special. Lou Marinelli has done an exceptional job putting this staff together. Basically, any one of these coaches could be head coaches at other schools, but chose to stay here in New Canaan. So that says a lot. Our offensive staff, led by Jimmy Nugent, Eric Stevens, Scott Overbeck, Harry Catanzaro, and Chris Schaefer. Special teams coach is Brady Beeson. And the most time I spend is with our defensive staff, considered, which I work very closely with, led by Chris Silvestri, Jason Miska, John Silvestri, and Frank Rabassa. All great guys, and we spend so much time together. It doesn't feel like work. It really doesn't. It's a lot of fun. And seeing the rewards on Friday and Saturdays is incredible. I'm truly honored to work with these guys on a daily basis. 30 years ago, the legendary AD, Vin Iovino, Lou Marinelli, and Jay Egan gave me a wonderful opportunity to be an educator and coach in this great town of New Canaan. It's been great to work with so many student athletes over the years. You guys are great. I would describe them as hard working, smart, and focused on their craft. These kids excel in the classroom as well as on the field, most getting accepted into the most prestigious universities in the country. All right. In closing today, I'd like to talk about one of my closest friends in coaching and in life, Joe DeTola. Joe DeTola was that coach that was a mentor and an inspiration. He was not only one of the best teachers at New Canaan High School history, but also a Hall of Fame coach. Thank you, Joe, for all your guidance over the years. Again, I'm truly honored, and thank you, and enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Thanks, guys.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the honoree ceremony portion of today. As Bill mentioned, there is food and beverages to be had inside, so if everybody wants to start making their way inside and grab a plate, stay for as long as you like. And once again, just on behalf of the New Canaan Old Timers Association, I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming today, and let's do it again next year. Thank you.
All right, everybody, we gotta eat. We got a lot of food, so everybody's gotta eat at least twice.
And actually, before everybody goes inside, honorees, if we could just gather on, I guess, what is that, the eastern balcony, right over by the stairs. Grab your plaques, And honorees, grab your plaques and meet right over by the stairs over there. Thank you.